My mom and I just returned from our once-in-a-lifetime trip to Turks and Caicos to celebrate her retirement from 40 years of being a pediatric hospital nurse. Now, you know us as Healthy Emmie and Healthy Mummy, and when we're on this channel, we're talking about whole food, plant-based food and nourishing our bodies and fueling them properly. But what happens when we are on vacation? I'm going to tell you in today's video. Hello, my honeys. If you are new here, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach to release weight on a plant-based diet. If you want to do that, click the link in the down bar. Hey, I have a quick question because I'm curious. Have you been to the Caribbean before? Do you live in the Caribbean? Let me know in the comments. I had never been before. That is a lie. I went with my boyfriend a few years ago to St. Thomas and he got me that gift for my birthday. Good thing he does not watch my YouTube videos. Leave a comment and let me know if you have been to the Caribbean, and if not, would you even want to go? Are you a beach gal or a beach guy? Beach healthy honey? Let me know. If you've watched the Healthy Mummy series on my YouTube channel here, you have seen that my mom was struggling with menopause, weight gain, and high cholesterol, and was able to alleviate both of those issues through her participation in my Slim on Starch program. She's been an absolute superstar in maintaining her results. But what happens when we live life a little bit? Does this mean that she has to be 100% perfect for the rest of her life? And am I 100% perfect at all times? Well, that idea of perfection, we just need that to fly right out the window. There is no such thing as perfection. There is no perfect diet, but there is the perfect diet for you, for me, for Healthy Mummy. We all are a little bit unique. The philosophy that we take in the Slim on Starch program is that when you come with the goal of weight loss, we have you form a really strong foundation on the Slim on Starch principles so that you can release weight. Once you're rocking that foundation and you got it totally locked in, then we can learn how to incorporate back in some foods that will promote your sustainability and longevity on this lifestyle, because you know that you don't have to say no to foods for the rest of your life. In fact, in the Slim on Starch program, the foods that you're holding off on during the weight loss phase, we refer to as later foods, not never foods, meaning it's not like you're going to never have these foods again. We're just going to take a break for them for the time being. So Healthy Mummy, who rocked the Slim on Starch program, when going on this once-in-a-lifetime vacation to the Caribbean, was going to utilize what we call her signature system in order to have some treats here and there and enjoy herself and celebrate 40 years of being a nurse and her now retirement, and be able to know that she's not wrecking all of her goals, she's not ruining her health. She is doing this to promote the sustainability of her adherence to Slim on Starch when she's back home. I took pictures of what we were eating while we're on vacation, so let's go through them. First and foremost, when I got on that plane, you know that I had my dry oats with me. I always bring dry oats with me when I'm going on an airplane, because what I do is this little maneuver where I ask the flight attendant for boiling hot water, and I ask for 2 cups, and then I take my quick oats, I mix it with the hot water, I put on the top, and voila, you've got yourself oatmeal. And you can bring some fruit along with it as well if you would like. But this is a really great way to get a starch when you're traveling, because starch can be difficult to find while you're traveling. So bringing dry quick oats with you is a great hack. I'm actually going to scooch over a little bit because I'm going to put some photos up here. So right when we arrived, they asked us upon arrival, can we get you any rum punch? I personally don't drink. That's outside of health. That was a decision that I made when I was actually 12 years old. I decided I'm not going to partake in alcohol. That's not my thing. So I've never been a drinker, and I'm 28 now. So I just don't drink. And so for me, I just always say no, I'm just not a drinker. But my mom, who's not a big drinker, she will drink on special occasions. And what better way to really feel like she was ringing in the vacation experience than to say yes. When we arrived and they said, can we get you rum punch? She said, sure. It was her vacation, and she's not a big drinker at all. She'll have 1 drink, maybe 2. And normally under normal circumstances, she'll drink twice a month, really. I would guess maybe 2 drinks a month. So it was appropriate for her to do it in this circumstance. So she had some rum punch upon arrival, and I was nearly starving. Luckily, across the way, there was a grocery store, and I was able to grab myself. I actually grabbed a bag of apples for us to keep in the room, and I had an apple because we had about an hour and a half before we had a dinner reservation. So, and by the way, I ate before we got on the plane. We arrived around 4:30 p.m. and I knew I needed something, because if I didn't get something in me, we would have gone to dinner and I would have been ravenous and I wouldn't have enjoyed the experience. So I grabbed myself an apple. Oh, that wasn't the only thing I had. I also had green grapes. The green grapes in Turks and Caicos hit. I'm usually a red grape girl, but the green ones were so much sweeter. So I had some green grapes as well. Then we were off to our first night's dinner. They actually had a vegan menu. We went to this place called Vita at Rock House in Turks and Caicos. They had a vegan menu, but I emailed them and I asked if they could create something for me. I love the way I feel on Slim on Starch so much that it's not often that you'll find me eating things that are more processed and with oils, because I don't feel well when I eat them. My stomach hurts, I'll get acne in between my eyebrows and on my chin. It's not pretty, it's not worth it for 15 minutes of, not even, how long does it take you to eat a meal? 5 minutes of amusement. I don't want to have a food hangover the next day. So I tend to stick to Slim on Starch. It just doesn't mean that I do at all times or that I will for the rest of my life. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I do tend to gravitate towards Slim on Starch even when I'm on vacation. So I wanted a nice Slim on Starch meal to get my vacation off to a good start. We've been traveling all day. Digestion is already kind of messed up from traveling. Just flying is not great for your digestion. And so I wanted to have a nice Slim on Starch meal that night to get the vacation off to a strong start and really allow myself to fully experience all of the primary foods. Primary foods are the things that aren't food that you eat. They're the things that nourish your soul. I have one of mine right here who, whenever I film a video, he says, "No, mama, you gotta hang out with me." I hang out with you 24/7. So I was able to smell the ocean and listen to the ocean and enjoy the conversation with my mom and take beautiful photos of her. And so it was nice not to be distracted by the food. So I very clearly asked them, can you boil a bunch of potatoes for me? Can I also get steamed vegetables? And I wrote out the vegetables that they had on their menu, and they made me this beautiful plate. Unfortunately, there weren't many potatoes, and I understand that people might say this and say, that is just vegetables. It kind of was. And if I had it my way, I would have had way more potatoes than this, but don't bite the hand that feeds you. It was so lovely that they could do this for me. And I'm not going to starve to death if one meal doesn't have an adequate amount of starch in it. I'm able, if I wanted to, I could have made some oatmeal when I got back, or I could have simply asked for more potatoes. They had already made the meal for me. I didn't want to order yet another meal and then wait for it. So this was perfectly fine and I enjoyed it. And then I was just a little bit hungrier earlier the next morning, no big deal. So my mom in the back there, she had a vegan pasta, which she said was absolutely outstanding. There probably was some oil in it. And then I had my special Slim on Starch meal. And then when it was time for dessert, I asked them if they could make a fruit plate. And if they couldn't, not the end of the world, but I said, would you guys be able to make a fruit plate for me? And they made a fruit plate. If you never ask, the answer is always no. These things are not going to just magically appear in front of you. A Slim on Starch meal did not magically appear in front of me. I had to ask for it. So I encourage you to advocate for yourself and to clearly state what it is that you can have and see if it's able to be accommodated for. So every morning, Healthy Mummy did her yoga, and it's so amazing that she was able to maintain that while she was there, because that is something that grounds her and brings her back to center. And when you're on vacation, you want to make sure that you stay grounded and you stay centered so that you can fully enjoy the vacation. So she did her yoga on the balcony every morning outside of our hotel room. And she, for her breakfast every day, she had her oats that she brought with her. We talked about this in the other video. She brought with her baggies of oats that had, I believe she just added raisins into it. And then she would just, we talk about it in this video. So I'll link the video below where she talks about exactly what it is that she had. Now, I went to the front desk and I asked them, because I had asked them beforehand, can you put a microwave in my room? And they said no, because it was a fire hazard. No big deal, totally fine. And they said, we can heat up food for you. And I said, okay, wonderful. So I went to the front desk and I asked them to heat up my oatmeal for me. And they said, do you have any dietary restrictions? And I said, yeah, I do. And they said, well, are you going to be okay? And I said, yeah, I always figure it out. I'm okay. And they said, well, why don't we have you talk to the head chef to make sure that everything will be okay for you? And I thought, oh my goodness, well, okay. So I asked the head chef, I said, can you bake potatoes for me? If I go buy some sweet potatoes, can you bake them for me? And he said, sure. What else can I do for you? And I said, if you can steam vegetables, that would be great. He said, all right, I can do that. That's so simple. So because I clearly communicated with him exactly what it was that I wanted, and I actually did give him the food too, it worked out perfectly. When approaching others and asking for dietary accommodations, you telling them exactly what you can have makes it a lot easier, as opposed to giving them some riddle of saying, well, I'm vegan and I'm oil-free and I can't have this and I can't have that. Tell them what you can have. The chef and I became fast friends, and he was so kind in asking about why we were here and what we were celebrating. And I told him we were celebrating my mom's retirement. And he said, does your mom have any dietary restrictions? And I said, well, she is vegan. And we went back to our room and he had actually made this for her and it was waiting in the room for her, which was just so beyond kind. Vegan chocolate cake. And so she did enjoy this vegan chocolate cake. So I did go and buy sweet potatoes and I brought them to the chef and I said, can you just bake these for me? Don't add anything. The only thing, if you happen to have cinnamon, I would love cinnamon. And they had plenty of cinnamon for me. They started calling me the cinnamon girl. And so he baked up potatoes for me and he steamed vegetables for me as well. And I had those delivered to the beach, which was just a dream. Again, I wanted to enjoy my time there. I wanted to feel good. I didn't want to feel gross and bloated and heavy because I was eating junk while, I was going to be swimming and walking around in my bathing suit. And I just didn't want to feel heavy and yucky. And it was so great to be able to eat slim on starch foods while I was there. So I became a sweet potato while I was there. We went to dinner that night and there was a sushi place on the premises. So we were able to enjoy sushi while we were there. Sushi places are so fantastic when you're traveling, whether you're somewhere very, very nice or if you are in no man's land. You can usually find a Japanese place or an Asian place where you can get vegetables and you can get rice. So it was wonderful to be able to get sushi as well. I love sushi. We were chatting with the chef that evening and he said, what is your favorite dessert? He asked my mom. She said, well, before my slim on starch days, it was panna cotta. And he said, well, I can make you a vegan one. And she said, oh, stop, you don't need to do that. And then the next day we were at the beach and lo and behold, what was delivered? Vegan panna cotta to my mom at the beach. And she enjoyed every bite of it. I was so proud of her because she ate it so slowly, really savoring each bite, knowing that she's not going to make a panna cotta when she gets home. She's not going to get another one of these. It was really special and thoughtful and she wanted to enjoy it. And she ate it very slowly and savored every bite of it. That night we went to an Italian place and my mom got pasta yet again. She loves her vegan pasta. And they made for me a fruit plate and more potatoes. I was living. I cannot even tell you how many potatoes I ate while I was on this vacation. I may have lost count. Because I just had so many and they just kept them coming for me. So I had tons of fruit. I had the potatoes and then in the background you can see Healthy Mummy had a pasta that had butternut squash, some sweet potatoes, vegetables, and a savory sauce on it. And again, this likely did have some oil, 100% it had oil. But this is an opportunity for her to just relax and enjoy, and she wanted to get the full experience while she was there, and she got right back on SOS when we got home, so no big deal at all. Then for dessert, we wanted to just have some drinks, and it was nice and warm, and just sit out and chat. And so my mom got an almond milk latte, and I got a chamomile tea. And we were just sitting there enjoying ourselves, and we were about to pack up and go, and one of the waiter that was helping us, we loved him. He sat down and was talking with us. We loved this guy. His name's Mel. I hope to see you again, Mel. You rocked. And we were about to leave, and he said, oh, can you guys actually hold on a second? I won't take more than 5 minutes of your time. And we said, okay. So we sat down, and then he brought out a fruit plate, and he said, this is, compliments of us. We know that you love your fruit, and we just love having you here. And so here's some fruit. It was so lovely. I ate the entire thing. Healthy Mummy didn't get any of it. Maybe she got a berry or two. But hey, what is your favorite fruit on this plate? On this plate, I have a feeling people are going to say watermelon. There was watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. My favorite is cantaloupe on this plate. This was just a little taste into some of the things that we ate while we were on our vacation and the philosophy behind eating this way. I personally prefer to stick to slim on starch most of the time and enjoy the foods that make me feel really, really great. Healthy Mummy is a little bit more adventurous, and she'll go out and have some fun foods. The great news is that it works for both of us. There is not a perfect blueprint for exactly what you need to eat and how much. And this is why in the Slim on Starch program, we call it your signature system, because it is signature to you. And I love you, honeys, and I'll see you in the next video.